people of the internet, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. So in the last video I had this purple sunset-y lighting, but I'm not sure how I feel about it, so we're back to the normal. I still have the new sign though, because we love her. Today, we are going to be reading more Ouija board stories. A recent comment on one of my videos, I'm pretty sure it was a Ouija board story one, left me spooked. She commented her mom's experience with a Ouija board that she played with her friend. The board had predicted her mom's friend's death and that she was going to die at 17, and she did. Like, what? First of all, I'm so sorry for your mom's loss, because I couldn't imagine losing a best friend, especially at 17 years old. Ouija boards are dangerous, guys, and this story is further proof of that. Thank you so much, Lexi, for commenting. Before we dive into the rest of the stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you have your own spooky, scary story that you would like to share, share for me to read in a future video, make sure to email this email right here, which is also available in the description down below, as well as my social medias. I have a Ouija board that is now 70 years old and was my great-grandmother's. Me and my friends have used it multiple times. Some notable things were when we did it outside the local graveyard. That's smart. It moved faster than I have ever seen it before. Most recently, though, is when we were using it at my friend's. He has previously experienced small paranormal events there, and we kept connecting to a 10-year-old kid that had died by fire. All but one had these conditions. The weird part, though, is that they said they were connected to my friend's dad. He was a fireman, and several years ago had fought a fire where I guess multiple kids died in. We had a lot of stuff happen that seemed likely that this connection is to real things in another existence. The next Redditor says, I always thought these things were actual BS. However, years ago this changed when I did it once with some random people at a get-together. We were talking to all sorts of different spirits, and I wasn't taking it seriously. Then I thought of a way to put this to the test. I'm a Kuwaiti American and was born in Kuwait, so I know Arabic and knew of a friend of my brother that passed away recently, so I asked to speak to him. Now, only one person knew me at the get-together, and even then didn't know that much about me. I was definitely the only one who could speak Arabic. I was in Oklahoma at the time, so I asked in Arabic how he died. The board spelled out a car crash. I was a bit shocked, but still didn't buy it completely, so I asked a more detailed question. I asked in Arabic how old he was when he died. It pointed to 1, and then 3. That's when I really started to freak out. No one would have ever known these details, let alone understood what I was asking. I asked for more details on the crash. He flew out of the sunroof, and after that, I stopped. I haven't touched a Ouija board since. The next story says, my Ouija board is nothing special, just the mass-produced kind you find at toy stores. This is my most profound experience with it. Sorry, but it's gonna be long. That's okay, we fucking love long stories here. Side note, if you guys ever are like, oh my god, this story is too long, she's never going to read it. Do I look like I would reject a long story? Send it my way. A couple of years ago, I lived on campus in New York, and my dorm mates had never used a Ouija board. So one night in October, I brought out mine. New Paltz is a pretty old town, and one particular area, Huguenot Street, is now a historic site as it was settled in the mid-late 1600s. So the 5 of us put our hands on the planchette, and I start out by saying some spiel, like, we cautiously call you out benevolent spirits that would like to communicate with us. New Paltz Town, the college campus, Huguenot Street. As soon as I said the Ouija board. I should mention that I was the only one out of all of us that knew any French. So from this point on until the end of the session, I kept my eyes on the ceiling to prove to the others that none of us could be controlling the planchette. You really got the impression of a child through the spirit's energy and playfulness. It really felt like we were speaking with a child. He would sometimes speak English, mostly French. We spoke English to him, though. It was a bit weird thinking about the possibility of a language barrier between our realm and his. He told us that his father was a doctor, and that he had a dog named Henry with an I, who he loved very dearly, and some other kid stuff. We asked him if he lived on Huguenot Street, and he said yes. Where? White Fort. We all shrugged because none of us knew Huguenot Street extremely well. There were about a dozen founding families and a whole bunch of old buildings in that area. Tough questions, but we had to ask. If you don't mind telling us, Adam, how did you pass away at such a young age? Never ask them that, if you so choose to do this. He responded in French. As I stared at the ceiling, my friends announced the letters L-A-G-U-E-R-R-E-M-E-T-T. La curée me dissoute, or destroyed. The war destroyed me. Chills, all of us. Whoa, that was a huge moment for all of us when I translated what he said. We also asked, are you at rest in the Huguenot Street Cemetery? He confirmed that yes, he was, and that his headstone was near a tree. Oh my goodness. Eventually, the session began winding down and the planchette moved more and more sluggishly. We had to say goodbye. It was heartwarming to talk to such a young and happy-seeming spirit, yet obviously gave us a huge case of the willies also. He gave us a lot of information. We had to look into it. A few days later, we paid a visit to Huguenot Street. It was a day or two before Halloween, and the tour guides that work at the historic site have all this special stuff around that time. That particular evening, every path was lined with candles, which just added to the whole experience. We wandered down the street and stumbled upon Du Bois Fort. It was indeed a white building, and the only building which called itself a fort on the whole Huguenot Street. Naturally, we had to go in. The inside was clearly very old, but renovated into a tour type of place. One of the signs read something to the effect of Du Bois Fort went under major renovations in 1837. This was the year Adam reported to have died in the midst of some war with Native Americans. The facts lined up so well. It's incredible. Could he be Adam Du Bois, descended from one of the founding families? Finally, we paid a respectful visit to Huguenot Street Cemetery. It's so old that it's actually now referred to as burial ground. There are old, withered, discolored, slanting headstones covering this place. We started looking for the smaller one because we figured that children would have correspondingly smaller headstones, though the vast majority of the stones are too withered to make out the words that were on them. There were a few in particular we suspected to be his. Small ones near the trees, near other members of the Du Bois family, and even one small headstone bore the initials AD. We paid our respects and left. To this day, this is the most gratifying Ouija board experience I've had. I would like to contact him again. Wow, that is a great story, and it's such a refreshing change to meet like a genuine nice spirit and read like a good Ouija board story. Holy shit, wow. I still never want to play with one though. My ex-girlfriend and her friend used one when they were about 16. This being 2 years after her dad died, she had kind of closed herself off, so it was nice that she was making friends again. I was on the phone with her while her friend was using it in the background. They had already contacted a few entities, allegedly, so she was telling me about it, and I could hear her friend laughing in the background. and suddenly the laughing stopped. One of the girls said to my ex, "Is your dad named James?" She hadn't told these girls about her dad yet, so it was a weird question, but she told them yes. Her dad's name is James. Then they said a few things and she told me she'd call me back. From what she told me, the girls had contacted a man named James. I just got chills. They had asked who he was, and when he died, he replied, "Dad, 2 years." They asked why he was here. He said, "Daughter." They asked her name, and he said my ex's name. That's when they had stopped laughing. After she hung up, she started asking questions, but not touching the board in any way to discern if it was them fooling around. She asked him, what was the nickname her dad used to call her when she was a little girl? He said, "Sweet Pea." My ex burst into tears. She never used one again. Why am I about to cry? I asked my mother, who was a devout Christian, about these when I was young, after stumbling across writings about Ouija boards. She basically told me that you would be connecting to a realm that God has given up control over, assuming to be the devil, and that he would not help you if things went south. Just from that answer, I never thought about ever touching one. However, you guys have some interesting stories though. Never want to touch one, even more now because of what your mom said. Alex Xander. He capitalized the Z, so it looks like a last name. When I was a kid, one of my friends had a similar game called Psychic Circle. Her bedroom was in the attic. Oh my gosh, that's like my best friend in high school. She had the bedroom in the attic. We had been talking about a friend that had lived down the street from me earlier in the evening, and I was wondering what had happened to him. When we asked the board the name of who we were talking to, it said Jeremy. It went into nonsense for a bit and then started spelling out Jen. We all started to freak out because 2 of us were named Jennifer. It spelled out my full name, not once, but twice. "You are dead." The indicator started spinning around wildly in circles on the board and then went flying across the floor so hard it went down the stairs. Just then, there was a knock at the door. It was her mom or something. I nearly passed out, and believe me when I say, no sleep was had that evening. That's been over a decade ago, and I'm obviously still alive, but I'm still freaked out now, because while I was typing this, I started to hear what sounded like a woman sobbing on my front porch. No. I would literally go to church that Sunday, ask for a cleansing, go purchase holy water, Florida water, all the waters. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. My grandmother banned them from her house because once when she was younger, her and her friends messed with one. They asked who they were talking to, and it spelled out Satan. And then her friend, who owned the board, started convulsing, and from then on, swore she felt a presence when she sleeps. My friend gave me my Ouija board a couple years ago. If somebody ever fucking gives you a Ouija board, they're not your friend. But this friend did, and this person says I used to play with it frequently, but now I get too scared to. I'd bring it to soccer sleepovers back in high school, and we would stay up until 4 a.m., which is supposedly haunting hour, and play with it until we were delirious. I thought 3 a.m. hour was witching hour and stuff. At my friend's house, we contacted a girl named Eva who was killed in the Holocaust. She didn't say much. When we asked her things, she would say things like evil and devil and things like that. Also, there was this one girl at the sleepover, and every single time she would play, the spirit would answer her questions with bitch. Who does spirit think they're talking to? First of all, bitch, you're dead. And that's the only response she would ever get. It was the weirdest thing. When me and my friends were young, 15 so, we found a local show featuring how Ouija boards work and experiences of people who used. Us being skeptical morons, we made our own Ouija board and decided to try it out once the sun sets. Fast forward to 11 p.m. or so of the same day, we gathered at my friend's house and tried asking questions. At first, we were goofing off, joking around, spelling out dicks, boobs, poop, and other nonsensical things. After 15 minutes of joking around, one of my friends went on full serious mode and asked the board, "What is the name of the spirit?" The coin started to spell out Jack. Nobody was pulling pranks this time. The thing was really fucking moving. Everybody was starting to be scared shitless. We kept asking it questions until 3 in the morning. Then it started to go hostile, spelling out words like kill, murder, death, and other similar things. Everyone freaked out and stopped, then decided to burn our handmade Ouija board, and we did. It didn't stop there. When we were trying to burn the thing, a random gust of air would appear out of nowhere to weaken the fire and snuff it out. Funny part was, we were indoors trying to burn it in the fireplace. Then somehow the wind would stop it. It took forever for the cardboard to burn. No idea why, but the cardboard refused to burn until we decided to add more things to burn with it. And after getting reduced to ashes, the thing was still persistent. The mystery wind came back, blowing the ashes and bits and pieces of the board out of the fireplace. We tried to sweep it out of the house, but it kept getting blown back in. We kept sweeping and sweeping and sweeping and sweeping and sweeping and sweeping until it stopped going back. It was around 6 a.m. in the morning when everything settled. Never messing with that shit again. So what even is the proper way to discard of a Ouija board? Because I feel like burning it is not it. I feel like that's bad luck or something, because hello, what we just read. Anywho guys, that is all I have for you guys